Hey, this is Nick Milvoy.
And this is Jason Shadrick.
And this is the 100 Guitarists podcast, where we like to talk about the guitarists that we think you should know. Today, this is a big episode.
Twofer.
A twofer with a very special guest.
That's right.
We are talking about Aerosmith.
Probably the most classic rock of classic rock bands. I'm going to say it.
I feel like we've said this a couple times.
I know. I mean, sure. I think as a guitarist, we talked about this. Yeah. I think Joe Walsh just edges out for the most classic rock guitarist. But as a band, I gotta go with Aerosmith.
I'm with you.
That might be a hot take, but I gotta. Yeah, I'm going with that. That's my final answer.
So we got Joe Perry and Brad Whitford.
That's right.
Today we're talking to Robert DeLeo of the Stone Temple Pilots.
Big band of my youth.
Wow. Dude.
Now, why, Nick, why did we pluck Robert DeLeo out of
Because I'm a giant fan of the Stone Temple Pilots.
Right? Because we're huge STP fans, right? But we picked him out because he was just in the latest iteration of the Joe Perry project, which is a ridiculously all-star band.
Yes.
As we talk about.
As we get into that
episode.
And it turns out that's not just a cool coincidence. He has deep roots.
Yes.
With Steven Tyler and Joe Perry.
That's
right. We're going to let Robert tell you about that, but big roots there.
Now, if you want to get at us, you can email us at 100guitarists@premierguitar.com, or you can call or text us 319-423-9734. Hit us with your favorite Aerosmith riff or your favorite Stone Temple Pilots chord. Shout out to Dean DeLeo's chord vocabulary.
Dude.
Right?
Dude.
All time.
No joke. Shout out to Dean DeLeo's tone. Shout out to Robert DeLeo's sick bass lines.
Volume. Sorry, we got a volume check, I think, on this episode. We're talking about volume levels. And as somebody who did the first rig rundown with Joe Perry and Brad, I can attest that when Joe brings out 10 amps, they're not for looks. He's ready to rock. He's ready to rock.
Yikes. Stand on the other side of the stage.
Basically, yeah. You can have that whole side of the stage, Joe. You got it.
All right. And we'd like to thank Gibson for sponsoring today's episode. When you think about Aerosmith, you know, I pretty much don't think about anybody other than Gibson guitars, right? I imagine Joe Perry, classic Joe Perry. Actually, very specifically, I have a very specific thing I think of is the 90s Joe Perry signature model. Because there was a cover, I think I talked about this with Robert. There was a Guitar World cover where he had that signature model, I think, when it was first launched. No, pre-Boneyard.
Pre-Boneyard, okay.
Yeah. So the Boneyard's another Joe Perry signature model, but this was before that. And I remember when that was announced, I was like, man, look at that. That's cool. And I forget how much it cost in 1996 or 1997, however, but it seemed like $1 million. It was probably like $1,800 or something.
I'll shout out my favorite Joe Perry Les Paul is the Gold Rush Gold Top 1 pickup 1 volume knob.
You
Les
can't
Paul.
beat that.
That is that's a rock machine, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as our friend Greg Koch would say, that's designed for pillage and mayhem. Right? So thanks again to Gibson. Head over to Gibson.com. Check out all the new stuff. They're releasing new things all the time. And thanks again to Gibson for the support.
Yeah. All right. Let's bring on Robert. All right. So Robert DeLeo, thank you for joining us. Today we're talking about Aerosmith. And when we started putting this together, we know you've been out with Joe. We know you've done a few things with Joe. And you're out with Joe and Brad, right?
And Brad, yes.
Yeah. So, you know, we started talking who we were going to get for Aerosmith, and I was like, man, Robert DeLeo's touring with Joe Perry project. We got to get Robert DeLeo. I am a big Stone Temple Pilots fan. Just that you guys are playing together is super cool to me. So to get to talk to you about Aerosmith is very awesome.
Do you know how many times we had to tell Johnny Depp no?
Yes.
Like, sorry, bud.
Johnny's on a busy schedule these days.
Well, yeah, we told him, so are we, buddy. So are we. We don't got time for that. Next time.
Sorry, Johnny, we're going top shelf.
We're going top shelf.
So thank you for being here. Thank you for being down. So I think like probably the best place to start, we're talking about, all right, so 100 guitarists, we're talking about, we're lumping Aerosmith guitarists together, and really we're talking about Brad and Joe. I guess the best place for us to start is like how you just got in this loop with these guys.
Well, I wrote with Stephen and Joe back for their record in I guess around '96.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I wrote with those two. I actually
9 Lives.
Yes.
Okay.
So I went out to Joe's house in '96 and got together with Stephen and him to write. I went out about, I think, 2 or 3 times, and we wrote about 4 different things. I don't think anything made the record. I was kind of entrenched in a record called Tiny Music, our third record, STP.
I'm very familiar.
Yes, very familiar.
And the talk show record, which we did. So I was kind of scrambled, and I was a little overwhelmed to drive up to Joe Perry's house and see him and Steven outside messing with Joe's new car stereo in his car. I was a little blown away by that. These guys are, these two raised me. They raised me, and they were some of the best parts of the '70s. That I feel fortunate enough to have grown up in the '70s and been able to experience their music firsthand. Mm-hmm. And those records, records like Rocks, they were my nursery rhymes when I was little. So that tennis racket got a lot of wear and a lot of playing, air guitaring with the tennis racket. But it was mainly Joe and Brad's fault.
Yeah.
So what's
That's
like,
so cool.
You kind of made your name in a band as a collective, like you said, you were raised by Aerosmith. When you're in the room writing with these two guys, what's it like? What's kind of the dynamics between, are you a riff guy, a lyric guy? Is Steven handling lyrics? How did that kind of shake out?
Steven is so intuitive on melodies and lyrics, and he's always jiving something, and he'll recall. His recall is, you'll play something for him at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. rolls around and he's like, man, remember that thing we did? And he knows exactly what it is. He's really intuitive like that. And Joe is so easygoing. He's just, he's just whatever he's feeling. Joe is a lot of feel. There's really not a lot of technical stuff there he's thinking about. It's a lot of feel for him. And if it feels good, then he goes with it.
Yeah. What led to you getting that call? Do you know?
It was John Kolodner, who I actually went out to see them play. And John said, hey, what do you think about getting together? So I miss John. John was very helpful in putting that together at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to wrap my head around all that. So
was it like a one-day writing session, or were you there for a couple of days?
Oh, I was there for a few days, and went back a few times too. So
wow.
It wasn't just once, but it was a great experience, really great experience. And they kind of became my uncles after that. Right after that, we at the time we sold out Madison Square Garden, and they were in town doing some mixing in the city, and I called them up and said, you guys want to come out on, play some songs? And I think we played Lickin' a Promise and Sweet Emotion, and it's on YouTube. I think it's was a great moment for me to be on stage at a place that I saw concerts at, and went with my friends, and being on stage and kind of looking up and seeing one of my friends out there in the audience. And there was, with Stephen and Joe, there's always those moments that always come back around, and being able to, contribute or play with the people that inspired me is one of the most awesome things to do.
Yeah, that's too cool. That that just sounds like that's like a movie moment right there, right?
It is. Yeah.
So after that, you guys stay in touch,
We
obviously.
did. Joe, we played together with Hollywood Vampires, and we did some Joe Perry project things, and we opened up for Aerosmith, and those guys have always been so supportive, and it's amazing to get the call from Joe Perry, and know Brad Whitford's going to be there too.
Oh man,
yeah.
I mean, Brad is, getting to know Brad, and just the sweetest guy, really, really amazing person, and just lovely man. Yeah.
Was Dean like, come on, Robert, come on, like, let me. They need a third guitar player. So what's going on?
Well, he's got a lot going on too, but we just to be able to play with those two, because there is such a chemistry between those two.
Yeah.
And there's such different guitar players in a way, who both offer something different to that mix of that those songs. I've always said, don't criticize a song until you sit down and try to learn it.
I like
and
that.
learn to play it. And those songs are very complicated in their arrangements and their parts. They seem easy because they're in a rock and roll format.
Yeah.
Aerosmith, I always thought they're not a rock band; they're a rock and roll band. They're one of the only rock and roll bands. They definitely play rock and roll, and those riffs and those licks are very rock and roll.
Yeah.
And not easy. And Tom, I mean, getting to play Tom Hamilton bass lines are wow. I mean, geez, he created his own thing. Mm-hmm. He really did.
There's so much, when you talk about the Stones, like and guitar parts, you talk about weaving. And I think that like the weaving of guitar parts, I think with Aerosmith, they're like a classic example of like, that's one of the things that they took from the Stones is like the weaving between the guitar parts. And that includes Tom. It's just like, it's so enmeshed in such a cool way that it has to be, it's fun to listen to. It has to be really fun to play within that, right?
I mean, everyone knows their space, and that's the thing I love about Keith is not really what he's playing, but what he's not playing.
Yeah.
And to me, the best aspect of the Stones for me was him and Mick Taylor. I mean, those two together, it's kind of the same thing. Yeah. Beautiful playing. Yeah.
So going back to when you were a kid and being raised by them, what were some of the first kind of Aerosmith riffs and parts maybe you and your brother worked out or jammed on?
Well, I think, you obviously heard the ones that were on the radio. Yeah. So, you heard Walk This Way and you heard Sweet Emotion, and, it wasn't a matter of what I was playing at the time, because I was too young. I didn't pick up an instrument yet. But it was more of how it made me feel. And those songs definitely made people feel just like any music. I mean, that's the gift of music, isn't it? Really is the way it interprets our emotions and makes us feel as human beings. I mean, or animals or anything. Music is powerful. And that's what it did. Before I even picked up an instrument, I knew how it made me feel.
Tell me about the process of you come in, you get the call for the Joe Perry project, and you have all these catalog of songs to pick from. What were kind of the rehearsals and process like for not only narrowing down what Aerosmith tunes you guys are playing, but you guys are playing Black Crowes tunes, Stone Temple Pilots tunes. Like just about everybody in the band had something they could throw on the list there that people would go crazy for. What was kind of that process like? And then seeing Joe and Brad and the rest of the band playing on tunes that you wrote.
Well, and they did. Everyone threw in. At that point, you become a human jukebox, and there were 46 songs thrown at me, and that's overwhelming. That's a little overwhelming, considering everyone else has other day jobs too. So Joe really wants to cover a lot of ground all the time, and I'm down for it. I think what happened was we learned a lot of songs and got into rehearsals. And like always, you just see what works and what doesn't work, and what is feeling good and what's not. And I think it came down to 22 songs, which was really good for my hands and my brain. 46 songs was a little overwhelming at first.
Yeah, I bet.
It was a lot. But I think that the best ones prevailed. We picked Interstate Love Song and Vaseline for the STP songs, and a lot of Aerosmith songs, and Twice as Hard, and what else did we do? The other Crows song, two of the Crows songs, and Joe Perry project songs, and those great Aerosmith tunes.
I'm always curious, what does rehearsal look like for a project like this? Like how many times are you getting together? What's the process?
That should have probably, this last thing we did, it probably should have been a 2-week rehearsal at least. It was a 6-day rehearsal.
Okay.
And we were cramming. And after the 6th day, I actually had to fly from Sarasota to Sturgis to do an STP show and then fly back. So it was a lot of running around, a lot of memorization, and they were damn right about when you get older, your memory seems to slip a little bit. They were damn right about that.
So with all these songs, obviously you can take the STP songs. You probably are pretty well versed in those, but the other songs, the other 44. What's kind of your process when you sit down with this list? And a lot of these you're probably at least familiar with, have heard before, maybe not learned. Yeah. Some maybe you're are deeper cuts and you're like, I couldn't remember that off the top of my head right now. How do you sit down and with recordings? Do you make charts? What's your process with that, Robert?
Just all memorization. Most of those, like I said, those songs being so familiar to my soul at this point, those songs are naturally in you, as far as, but sitting down and actually playing those, I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I try to get those songs as close to honor Tom, to honor him and his bass lines, to get those as appropriate and as accurate as possible. And that's a fun challenge. That's a really fun challenge, especially with someone like Tom, who's playing some great lines through all those songs. Signature lines, I might add, that I grew up on. So I think it's just a matter of memorization and just repetition. It's repetition and getting that in your head. It was a lot of playing over and over. At least I didn't have a turntable with a needle this time going like this, because that's what I did when I was little.
Yeah.
Did you go and check out old YouTube videos of them playing the songs to see oh, Tom's playing that over here and in this part of the neck instead?
I did only for what was it? It was Toys in the Attic, when he does that. He was doing it down on the bottom of the neck. I was up here, but I soon found out that he was down there on the bottom, and we wound up not playing the song. So we didn't do Toys in the Attic.
Next
so there's
time.
there's a lot of things. I've played it with Joe before, And there's a lot of things that you learn, and sometimes it's like you get to I just did something with Robbie Krieger for the Doors' 60th anniversary.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was great. It was at the Greek Theater, and Perry Farrell singing, and Billy Idol singing, and John Doe from X. And I did. I've done it with Billy before, and I've done it with Robbie before. Doing "L.A. Woman," which was it's a amazing bass line. Jerry Sheff from Elvis's band on the original recording, and "Touch Me," which is Harvey Brooks, the great Harvey Brooks on bass on that, and yeah, a lot of memorization, a lot of lines. You learn something, and then you get there, and they go, "No, we're doing the live version. We're doing we're doing 7 things here and six things here," and you learn the record version, and all of a sudden you're doing a different version live, and that was a big thing because Billy Idol has recorded "L.A. Woman," but he doesn't do the breakdown with the Mojo Horizon, Mr. Mojo Horizon. So it was a controversy of where we were going with that, but since it was a Doors thing, and Robbie's like, "Let's do the breakdown," so that's what we did. So you gotta be on the spot with things like this. It's challenging, but when it's done, you're like, "All right, I did it. Mission accomplished."
That's awesome.
Yes, I imagine it felt good. Like you get through that first gig, with the Joe Perry group, you're playing through the songs. You're like, do you feel this weight off your shoulders? Like, cool, we put in the work, we did it. But then because it was a short run, so I feel like also by the time you got to the end of that tour, you're like, all right, now we're ready.
Well, it ended perfectly. We ended at the Hollywood Bowl opening for The Who with Steven Tyler coming out. So
cool.
I could check that one off my list, man. That was 3/5 of Aerosmith at the Hollywood Bowl opening for The Who.
I mean, you couldn't even that wasn't even probably in the realm of, you didn't even dream about something like, could you how is that even possible?
Well, if you told that 12-year-old kid, that someday you're going to be playing with those guys from Aerosmith, and, I would have said, yeah, right.
Or how about this? Someday the cats from Aerosmith, you're going to be on stage with them, and they're going to be playing your songs.
I mean, I did stop in rehearsal and had a little tear. And
oh, man.
You got to.
Yeah. I mean, it's just being grateful for the ones, there's times when I'm playing and I have to look up and go, these guys taught me my path in life. Yeah. Like, seriously, my path in life, that's heavy.
So deep.
That's heavy.
I want to point out, in case anybody listening hasn't heard, listening to live recordings of you guys, the live version of Interstate Love Song that you guys do is awesome. The slow ballad style version, man, that's hip.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, that came about because I wanted to put it in Chris's range. Mm-hmm. And I thought the way I kind of sold it to him was like, let's make it more Otis Redding.
Yeah.
I had some parts. Brad kind of picked up on that, and it became something else. This became something different, more of an R&B version of that song. And Chris being up there, leaning on a southern train, gave me chills.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
So something we always do on these episodes is we got to ask you for your 3 favorite records. So what are your, somebody's checking out Aerosmith specifically for the best guitar stuff. Where are they going?
Or bass stuff. Yeah.
I've got to say Rocks, first off. I mean, Rocks kind of epitomizes, if someone asks me, how do I learn, solos and rock guitar, there's a couple of records that I suggest. One of them is not an Aerosmith record, but I always say Rocks as kind of a starting point, because that just epitomizes Joe and Brad's work to me. It was a kind of a pinnacle there. Not that the other records aren't worthy of that, but just Rocks has all the grease you want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I also sing Lou Reed live with
That's
Steve
cool.
Hunter and Dick Wagner.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
You
want to
can't beat
learn
that.
rock and roll guitar,
Yeah.
Steve and Dick, wow. Yeah.
That is it.
And-
Okay, so rocks. What are the other two?
Yeah. What are your other Aerosmith ones?
Definitely Toys in the Attic. I mean, great stuff on there. And probably Get Your Wings, which has Steve Hunter on
Yeah.
Yep.
it.
Good connection.
Good
Yeah,
connection.
and no one knew that for a long time, but Steve was there in the studio and got called in,
Right. Like
and
back in the day, that wasn't out there, that wasn't them, right?
I don't think it was.
No.
I don't think it was out there.
That was like a cool little, that was like one of those rock facts that somebody tells you that somebody has deep, hey, you know who that is on there?
Yeah,
And they're like, no way. That's no way.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah. It's like what's the Bee Gees song? No, is it the Andy Gibb song? Love is thicker than water. What's that song?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I don't know which one it is.
it's Joe Walsh on the slide on that.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, that definitely is Nick. Because we just talked about that
Yeah,
Did we talk about that song?
in our Joe Walsh episode. Yes.
yeah, yeah. So it's one of those things you later find out. Like I thought, me and Dean and I played in Joe's band too. We played in Joe's band back in 2004.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. So we have to
So-
do another episode of Joe Walsh.
Oh man, we got you for Joe Walsh. We got you for Aerosmith. We got you for the Doors.
Man,
We're gonna need your full CV before we get out of here, so
Yeah.
we know.
I'll tell you a good story real quick. So the first day of rehearsal with Joe Walsh, that is, I go in there and we're all together, and it's Steve Ferrone on drums, and Bernard Fowler from the Stones on back vocals, and all-star cast there, and I come in kind of at STP volume, and this is where I learned a great lesson from Joe Walsh. I went in there with STP volume, and apparently he does not like a lot of bass on stage. And in the middle of one of the songs, he just stopped and he turned around. He stopped playing and turned around and went, "Turn that shit down." And man, I went, whoop. And I never played loud again on stage after that, even with my own band. So
Even with your own bands.
Wow.
yeah, I learned a big lesson.
So what was other than just maybe perceived volume by Joe? When you took that level of volume to your own band, what did you learn? Why did you do it? I guess.
Why did I play loud or play softer?
Why did when you went back and you decided to play softer? What were you kind of getting out of it?
I can't friggin' hear anymore. I can't hear anymore. I've ruined all through the 90s. I wore no ear protection. And I've got a constant, I wouldn't say a ring. It's turned into like a sizzle. So it's like a constant sizzle mixed with a little broken glass sound.
Oh,
If you can
man.
imagine. So it's, I've learned to turn down, and you know what it is? I think doing back vocals, bass frequencies really mess with your pitch.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons I think Joe probably, his singing, he didn't want a lot of bass frequency on stage because it probably messed with his pitch while he was singing.
Yeah. What's the Joe Perry project volume like?
Joe?
Any of you, general.
One of the loudest guitars I've ever heard.
Really?
Yeah.
It looks like he's using quite a few amps on stage.
He's got quite a few amps on, and it's very, very loud. It's very loud. Yeah.
But you got plugs in now.
I've got in-ears now. I've learned to play with in-ears. Interesting fact, though, I said to Chris Robinson, man, can you hear? Because Joe's loud. And he goes, my brother's louder. So Rich supposedly is louder than Joe, but Joe is loud, very loud.
I've done rig rundowns with both Aerosmith and the Crows, and I'd be hard pressed to they're both loud. It's almost, I couldn't probably feasibly tell you who's actually louder, but yeah, they both bring quite a bit of, amps on stage. Yeah, I don't know how many Joe was rocking, but when I did the rig rundown, 10 amps.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not exaggerating. Yeah.
Oh man.
All different shapes and sizes too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's the dog chasing the tail, because I think he's turning up so loud because he can't hear anymore. But it's the loud that is why he can't hear anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this chasing, and it's loud. It's loud. But I think it really goes with Joe about how it feels, and when it's loud, it feels good to him.
So, Robert, are there any plans for more Joe Perry project dates?
I think I'm always open to that. It's like I said, I've had the great honor and pleasure to play with most of my idols that I've grown up with. And that's like I said, one of the greatest gifts of all is to be able to play. But I see that happening, especially with Brad too. I mean, it was great playing with Brad. Brad and I were on the same part of the stage, and just hearing him, and it was like, it's right there.
Yeah.
It's all right there. It's amazing. It's all
and just
right.
hearing Brad rip into Last Child, like that riff, you're just like, golly.
Oh man, it's. I think I filmed that one about 20 times through the rehearsals and live.
That's too cool.
I mean, that's the one. That's, if I was your brother, I'd be like, hey, buddy, just give me a little clip of Last Child.
That's the one. That's the clip I sent to everyone.
Yeah.
Said, look, Ma, look where I'm at, Ma.
No kidding, right?
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, what's next for you? What do you got on the horizon?
I am trying to finish up a second solo record.
Awesome.
That I'm doing right now, and like I did on my first one, I have different singers that I'm getting to come in. I can't. People always ask why I don't sing my own songs, because I really can't. And that's why I fortunately have some great friends with amazing voices.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to finish that up right now. I'm doing all the guitars and.
Can you share any of the singers?
I've got Jimmy Necco, and I've got Jay Buchanan from Rival Sons, Pete Shoulder, who sang on my last record, Tim Bloom from the Mother Hips, will be singing on there. I've got some other in mind. I'm trying to get. Do you know Trey Hensley?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Trey is an amazing person, an amazing guitar player, and an amazing singer. So I got a song for Trey that I sent to him. Great talent, that guy.
Man, no kidding.
And then this John Regan on some keys from New York, and Tristan Capel on some flute, and Omar Velasco. Omar Velasco is a great singer too, great songwriter. He's singing on there too. So just trying to get that finished up between doing all these things. What's going on? I've got something with Paul Rogers. Haven't met or played with Paul Rogers yet. So I think me and Matt Sorm are going to. Matt asked me to do this thing in Palm Springs in a couple months to play some songs with Paul Rogers, who still can really sing.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
There's a handful of songs there that you're going to be playing and looking over and be like,
oh man. I mean, these people raised us, these people raised us, and those songs still mean so much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And how about any STP shows coming up?
Yeah, I've got some stuff coming up. I'm really excited to go down to Asheville for this Christmas show with Warren Haynes.
Oh, cool.
Charity thing. Love
Yeah.
Warren. Love Warren. And yeah, just some random stuff around we're doing with STP, and just got back from Texas this weekend, and mostly weekend stuff that's gets me back home and makes me feel like a real person instead of being out for 6 to 8 months at a time.
No kidding, right? Well, thanks again, Robert, for taking the time. We're so glad to connect and talk with you and have you share some memories and stuff. And everybody's listening. If you haven't checked out the deep 70s era Aerosmith, go check it out.
Check it out.
Thank you for having me.
All right,
Great.
thanks, Robert.
Thank you for all the support. Really, thank you so
Thank you.
much. We all got the memo on the glasses today, didn't we?
We did. Yes. I'm going to the hat shop right now. I'm going to the hat shop right now.
And you got your button shirt, both of you, button shirts and glasses. We're all in.
We're all there.
All right, Robert. All right. So thanks to Robert for coming on. This was a fun one.
Oh, so fun.
I mean, they're all fun, but this was a really fun one.
It was great to talk to him and hear about kind of the inside scoop about how, even in rehearsals, he's a professional. He's handling his business. He's being cool, but every once in a while, he's like filming Brad Whitford playing Last Child and sending it to his brother, like, check this out,
Yeah.
Like, he's just like us. He's just like us.
That's how I would be if I were in a rehearsal with Robert playing the bass. I'd be like, yo, look at this.
Yo, Vaseline, check this out. Yes.
Oh my God. Dream gig. So one thing I want to, that we didn't get to, we didn't talk about any of the Get a Grip era Aerosmith.
Right.
And that was like, I mean, Get a Grip was like, I'm coming into playing guitar. That was like early guitar lessons for me, learning that material. But how about you?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was aware. It wasn't the first Aerosmith I heard, but it was the first contemporaneous Aerosmith I heard. Like, oh, have you heard the new Aerosmith? And of course, MTV, we're watching the videos. Shout out Alicia Silverstone and Liv Tyler for keeping us interested in those videos as teenage guitar players. I thought those were the coolest videos ever. And the solos were great. The solos are great. The trio videos, the solos were great. They're big choruses, big sing-along songs. And then when the song from Armageddon came out, that was like the biggest song in the world.
That was the biggest song in the world.
Yeah.
For sure. That sort of was a weird tipping point for me liking Aerosmith, where it was like, all right, now they just like write these mega pop ballads that like wasn't as cool to me.
Right.
But
well, did you go see him live at all during that time?
No, I wish I did.
See, I saw them, I'm going to say 98, 99, somewhere in there. 7 Mary 3 opened for them. I mean, when did that blues album come out, Honkin' on Bobo? Was that before then or after then? No, it was, what album has later. Pink on it?
Pink is 9 Lives, which is
Nine
the one
Lives?
that Robert co-wrote for.
So that was the tour, because they definitely played Pink in the concert, and it was loud, and Steven was running all over the place. They rocked. That's the first time I really connected with Last Child. I was like, what song is this? Sounds great.
Yeah.
What song is this? And Brad had a killer solo a couple times that night, and it was just like the coolest. And then I remember we watched, me and Tessa and Megan went to do the rig rundown in Milwaukee.
Former Premier Guitar editorial staff.
Yes, shout them out. We went to Milwaukee to do the rig rundown, and we're like, because we had to drive back that night, we're like, okay, let's stay for like 3 or 4 songs. And they hooked us up with some great seats. And I remember walking out of there thinking, Joe Perry might be the most pure rock guitar player alive. I think the next day I might have texted Paul Riario that. I'm like, you know what? Joe Perry is the most pure. And he's like, I don't know if I can argue that.
Can't argue.
I mean, it was just, it wasn't shred. It was just right, raw, like in your face rock and roll, and we need more of that in the world.
Yeah. So I've never seen Aerosmith, but one thing I want to contribute here, specifically about that Get a Grip era, is a couple years ago, talking to some friends about how we were on a long car ride. Okay, we're on a trip to the Grand Canyon, and we listened to Crazy and Crying. And we're talking about how much they are the same. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And guess what we discovered? At the time, now I haven't looked this up for a very specific reason. I don't want to know that this has ever been fixed because this is cemented in time for me. Which was on April 20th, as of April 20th, 2018, 7 years ago. The Aerosmith Vivo page had the same thumbnail for both the Crazy video and the Cryin' video. Okay. Yeah. Even Aerosmith couldn't tell the difference between those two songs. So I got to thinking. I used to write blog posts for this site, Flypaper, which was the blog for this website, Soundfly, which still exists as a music education site. A lot of really cool people contribute stuff there. And I wrote a piece about the similarities between these two songs. Like, how similar are these really if we put a finer point on it? And okay, on one, just broadly speaking, they're both like the same topic, right? They're both these ambiguous breakup lyrics that are sort of about the same thing. They might as well be about the same thing, okay? Both songs are in 12/8. Both songs are in the key of A major.
Is that true? Wow.
Cryin', the progression starts 1-5-6-4.
Don't tell me.
Crazy is 1-6-4-6. So it's different, but it's still just 1, 6, and 4. And you can keep going. They're really similar chords. Both melodies, the melodies for both songs start with the same interval. They both start with a fifth. Okay, so the opening lyrics, I was crying and I go crazy. Same thing.
Man.
Okay, the song form's nearly identical. Cryin', intro.
That's not that big. That's not that big of a deal. I mean,
well, hold on.
Oh.
Song forms, it's like intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus. Okay, fine. However, there's both songs have an alternate chorus. They both have alternate chorus forms that repeat for exactly 2 minutes and 15 seconds at the end.
Tempos are almost exactly.
The tempos are almost exactly the same. So it's crazy, crazy for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. I was crying when I met you. 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So there we go.
You're saying it's the same.
They're different songs.
But they did change the thumbnail. I just checked. They did change the thumbnail.
Did they change the thumbnail? Well, going back to there's a screenshot if you look up Flypaper, Aerosmith. All you have to put in is Flypaper, Aerosmith. You'll find the piece. You can see the screenshot of them being the same, at least on April 20th, 2018. So there we go. But I actually love that. I love how similar those songs are. I think that's super cool.
I mean, there's probably 2 AC/DC songs you could do the same.
There might
be more than 2.
There might be more than 2.
I mean, but yeah, no, I hear you.
So, all right.
Thanks again to Gibson for supporting this episode. Head over to Gibson.com. Pick yourself up a new Les Paul, maybe a new Dave Grohl signature model that was announced recently, maybe a new Back to the Future model that was announced recently. Head on over there and check it out.
And whether you're listening or watching, don't forget to rate, review, like, and subscribe to this podcast. And drop us a line.
Yeah. Let us know.
Okay. All right. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.